This is the scope of the problem. I have a lot of books to read. These are all books I haven't read. They're all on my PopSugar Reading Challenge list. So, which one will I read next? So you've seen my problem. I finished recently The Martian by Weir, and really loved that book, although it was a little too scientific for me, as I said in my last video. So now I have to choose other books to read, and there's a lot of them right here in this table that is kind of not visible by the camera at this angle. This table right here in front of me is covered by these books, and I am going to choose a few books to read in the near future. Now, I was going to make this video about a week ago, and I didn't get to it, and I couldn't wait that long to choose a book. So I started reading the one that was calling to me, and it is The Life We Bury. So far, I'm about 4 chapters into it and finding it to be an excellent book. It was written by an attorney, Alan Eskens, and I would say he's a very talented writer. He's got great descriptions, the characters are interesting, the plot's moving along, and can't wait to read chapter 5. So that was decided, and now I have to decide between these other books that are all on my list, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. This is The Hour I First Believed by Wally Lamb. I have read one other Wally Lamb book. I read this one because I chose this one. Okay, I chose this book because the PopSugar Reading Challenge said that I should choose a book that has the lyrics of a song in the title, and what could be more meaningful to me than The Hour I First Believed, which is, of course, a line from Amazing Grace. So, love that song, and hope I love the book. This one, Salt to the Sea, I believe it's a young adult war novel. So, I bought this one last year. In fact, it was on my reading list last year. I bought it at a little bookstore in Coeur d'Alene called The Well-Read Moose. The Moose is sort of like a Coeur d'Alene, what do you call one of those things? A motto? No, not a motto. Anyhow, it's a thing in Coeur d'Alene. Man, this is turning out to be a bad video, but here we go. Salt to the Sea. Now this one was because, this is The Nightingale by Kristin. I got this one because I am supposed to read a book with the name of an animal in the title, and I think a nightingale is an animal, technically, although it is a bird. So I've been wanting to read this, yet another war novel, of course. Seems like there's so many these days. And the next one here is Grandma Gatewood's Walk, which you know was recommended to me by a dear friend of mine. And I was going to read, the prompt from the PopSugar Reading Challenge is to read a book about a sport, and I was going to read Miles from Nowhere, which is about riding a bicycle all over the world, but it's by Barbara Savage, and I still very much want to read that, but I got this one because my friend recommended it to me. Grandma Gatewood's Walk, the inspiring story of the woman who saved the Appalachian Trail. And I think I would find that inspiring. Next is a book about a country and Ireland, and I was supposed to read this one last March during the Irish Reading Challenge, but didn't happen, so here we go. Ireland, still on my table, still unread. The next one is Anna Quindlin's book, Black and Blue. I can't remember what the prompt for this was, but it's on the list. The next one is Year of Fog. The prompt was to read a book with something in the title about the weather, and so this one just happened to cross my path, and still have it to read. The next one, can't remember what the prompt was. It's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It's definitely on the list. If you want to see the whole list, it's on my blog at lyndajomartin.com. And I've got a list for the 2018 PopSugar Reading Challenge of all the books that I wanted to read, and this is one. It is nonfiction, I believe, so I might wait till November for this one, but we'll see what happens. Next is 13 Moons by Charles Frazier. I don't know much about this book, but Charles Frazier also wrote Cold Mountain, which is a book I very much enjoyed, and so I thought I'd pick this one up. I saw it at a secondhand store, and now it's mine. Yeah. And the same with this one. I got it at a secondhand store, People of the Book, and it's on my list, and I can't remember why, so it's on my table. And the next one, Light Between Oceans. And this one actually was made into a movie, but I am holding off on watching the movie so I can read the book first. And there's only two more. This is one of them. All Quiet on the Western Front. It's one of the few classics I have on my list this year. And the last one is What Happened to Lanny Garver? And so I did a not very original thing. I wrote down the titles of all these books on these little slips of paper, and it is my plan to, on camera, choose 3 of them from the little jar, and then I'll know what I'll be reading for September. So, exactly 3 came out of the jar. And the first one is Salt to the Sea. I cannot say I'm sorry. I've been wanting to read this one for a long time, and I guess that's what I'm going to be reading next after I finish The Life We Bury. The next one is The Life We Bury. I must have put that name back in the jar. Okay, I still have to pick out another one. So the next one after The Life We Bury is People of the Book. This does sound intriguing. It's Hannah Heath, an Australian rare book expert, has been offered the job of a lifetime analysis and conservation of the famed Sarajevo Haggadah, rescued from Serb shelling during the Bosnian War. I'm not talking very well. Sorry about that. Anyhow, it's a priceless and beautiful book, one of the earliest Jewish volumes ever, and it's inspired by a true story, but it is a novel. So that's on my list, and one more. I want to have 4 planned for the month, because I might get through 4 this month, if I'm lucky. Or dedicated, I think would be the word. If I'm really dedicated to my reading. Okay, the last one is one that I didn't tell you about because it's not on this table, it's on my Kindle. It is Pride and Prejudice. Never read it, so I really should. And so that's what I'll be reading this month. People of the Book, The Life We Bury, Salt to the Sea, and Pride and Prejudice. Thank you for coming by to watch my video, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.